We're talking Ball State. Don Shondell and Ray McCallum talking Ball State. Nate Davis and Bonzi Wells. Schumann, Bell Tower, and Worthen. Fans Oliver from Muncie to Berlin. Getting Concannons, Carters, and Greeks. All right, everyone out there in Cardinal land, welcome to the latest edition of Ball State of the Union, your number one Ball State football podcast. By the fans, us, for the fans, all of you, the loyal Ball State of the Union listeners. We're talking current headlines, exclusive interviews with Cardinals athletes and coaches, and fun off-the-wall debates you won't hear anywhere else. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. And as that song always tells you, you know when you hear that song, Ball State of the Union's on the way. And you know when Ball State of the Union's on the way, we're going to be doing what, Colin?
We're talking Ball State.
Bingo. Colin's got it right on the money there. Hey, everyone out there, today we have a very special guest. Today we welcome a true veteran of Ball State football. Number 5, Qian Magwood, the longest tenured Cardinal. Qian has been through it all and continues to be a steady leader for the program. Along the way, he's etched his name as not only a MAC champion, but also a member of the first ever bowl win in the history of Ball State football. With the years of experience and perspective, Qian brings a unique voice in what it means to truly be a Ball State Cardinal. Ladies and gentlemen, our friend, Qian Magwood. Qian, thank you. Oops, oh my goodness, I'm messing it up here. Oh my goodness, Qian. Bear with me here. Technical difficulties. There we are. Qian Magwood, everybody. Qian, thank you so much for joining us today. Colin told me you came straight from class. You're putting really the student in student athlete. That's what we do at Ball State,
Yes,
Ball
sir.
State University. What class you coming from, Qian?
It's a sociology class. It's also for disabled students as well. So
Okay.
learn about disabled students and how it affects them in the society. So it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Pretty cool class.
If you're not looking into doing something football wise when you're done here at Ball State, what are you looking to do with your life whenever you're finished?
I want to have my hands in a couple things, but one of the main things that's kind of been getting the itch lately is coaching. Just want to be around the game. Just pay it forward. That's really just what I want to do when I get done playing.
Okay, very cool. Well, hey, Qian, again, thank you so much for your time here. We know you got a busy week, like you said, class. We got week 1 right around the corner. I know Colin and I are excited. Colin's going to be there live, so he might hold up a number 5 sign for you when we kick off on Saturday. But hey, Qian, we were doing some research on you before this interview started, and something I didn't know, and maybe some other people don't know out there. And I'm a little bit older than Colin, so I have a little bit more football knowledge in my head from some older days, but I didn't know you were cousins with Kajana Carter. For people out there who don't know Kajana Carter, number 1 overall pick by the Cincinnati Bengals back in 1995 out of Penn State. So having, someone who is that big of a name in the football world, how did that kind of impact you growing up and you maybe wanting to be a football player and just kind of how your development as a football player maybe at an early age?
Yeah, like you said, early on, it definitely played a big part. I even wore 32 like him in Little League, Pop Warner League, coming up. I played running back as well. So it definitely molded my game in the early years, just wanting to play like him. Seeing that and having that was definitely a big inspiration for me.
Did he pressure you into trying to go to Penn State ever?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. No, sir. But he definitely always, lend me an ear or just wise words and, just some advice whenever I need it. And definitely always someone I can lean on.
Awesome. And hey, like right there on your shirt, we see Walnut Ridge, right there, Columbus, Ohio. I was actually just in Columbus, Ohio recently for some work. It was awesome. I've only been there a few times, but I really enjoyed my time there. But coming out of Walnut Ridge, 4-year player for the football team, 3-time captain, 2-time All-State. Also, very good basketball player. People might not know that about you. Very good basketball player. But hey, you excelled at 2 different sports in high school, which is something that's becoming rarer and rarer in these days with kids. People getting specialized in one sport very early on. How did you playing 2 different sports in high school really help you become a better athlete and even now a better football player?
Great question. Mainly, I think with the physicality piece, like coming from football to basketball, I always feel a little bit stronger. Just like driving to the hole or just taking a charge. I just felt a little stronger. Really, I don't know. I think it's more of the mental aspect. Seeing the game from different perspectives. It's a lot of ways, but mainly I would say the physical aspect is one.
Okay, 1-on-1 to 10. You got to win by 2. How many points is Colin scoring on you?
I'm not too familiar with Colin's game, but I trust myself. I don't think Colin got me. So I'll say he'll probably get a good 2. You know,
A good
I'll give
two.
him 2. I'll give him
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. All right, perfect. We'll take 2. Okay. Hey, so 3-star recruit coming out of high school. How exactly did you end up at Ball State?
So the way I ended up at Ball State, it was Alex Bailey. He was a receiver coach here. Recruited me pretty much throughout high school. Ball State was one of the first schools to offer me as well. They offered me my sophomore year. They kind of stayed with me throughout the whole process, and just always one of the schools that was always after me. And Alex Bailey was also from the Columbus area. He was a Columbus native, so just kind of felt like home. And I wanted to get out of state, but I didn't want to get too far away. And with Columbus being 2 hours away from here, it just felt perfect. So.
Okay. Were there any other schools that you were talking with at the time? I know you said Ball State was with you early on, but was there anyone else that you maybe considered throughout the process?
Oh yeah. So shoot, it's taking me a while back. It was 2020. Ball State was one that was I took a visit to Toledo. I took a visit to Miami, Ohio. Unfortunately, I was making a mistake. Visiting that campus, but
Okay.
yeah, there was a couple other schools that I was in talks to, but I only took 3 official visits. And COVID was kind of coming around at that time as well, so it was a little harder to get around. But yeah, it was other schools in the play, but Ball State definitely stuck out to me the most, and
Okay.
that's how I ended up here.
Yeah, and that's a perfect transition to what we're going to talk about next was that 2020 season. Obviously, terms of Ball State lore, some would argue maybe the best season in school history. But yeah, like you said, with COVID starting, a very interesting time. I know Colin wanted to kind of dive into that 2020 season.
Yeah, so we MAC champs, we're bowl champs that year. I understand you were injured that season.
Mm.
What was that like? Was it hard to be injured and see the team have success like that? But as it being your first year, was it easy to stomach that? What was that like?
No, it wasn't easy as a competitor. Like in any year, I don't think it would be easy for anyone, but definitely for me, the type of person I am, that was the first time I ever had a sport or anything, just taken away from me like that. And which made it kind of like to rub it in. We had a Zoom call because we couldn't even meet in person. They announced like the day I found out what happened, the injury that I had suffered. They announced that we were having the max season, like we were going to
Mm.
play that same day on the Zoom call. So it was like that crushed me even more. So it was definitely a dark spot for me, but like I said, for the positive side for my teammates, it was great to just be around them, um, being in the installs and hearing the game plan. Getting ready for next week, the next opponent. It was a short season. We only played 7 games, excluding the bowl game. So it was definitely good, for learning. But it was definitely hard for the competitor in me to sit out and watch, other people take that field. Definitely.
So we've got to ask about that Western Michigan game where the whole team ran in from the sideline, kind of after a backwards lateral, but still as the plays going on.
Mm.
Were you in the crowd? And then what was that experience like for you?
Um, I like to describe that play as just flow state. Believe it or not, that wasn't the first time I ever made a play like that.
Mm.
Plenty of people from my area, back home, they see me make plays like that numerous times. So like when I first made that initial cut, I kind of like it's kind of like the familiarity of like, okay, I've been here before. Like I know. I seen the defense swaying. I'm just in the moment. Just playing ball, and then, thanks to my teammates, they never stopped playing either. Made some great blocks on that play as well.
Okay, Qian, I got to ask about the play where, do you remember this at all? Like, there was like the Western Michigan was like doing some backwards laterals to get down the
Okay.
field,
Yeah.
and the team ran in on, from the sideline. Do you
Yeah.
remember that at all?
Yeah, so I wasn't on the sideline during that game because, like you said, I was injured. So I was actually on the sideline. I was watching that on TV like the rest of you guys. But I do remember seeing that, and I just remember like, wow, like this is definitely going to be a meme. Like in the moment, I definitely knew. Like I just seen it. Like it's just one of those plays you remember. But great. Luckily, we came out with the win for that game, and that did help us go to the MAC championship. So it worked
Yeah,
out in our favor. But that's definitely one of the clips that just stick with just
yeah.
Ball State as a whole.
Yeah, Keon, we had a teammate of yours, Drew Plitt, on back in December, and he
Okay.
has a funny story about that exact play as well. Not from his perspective, but from I believe his cousin was getting married while that game was going on, and they were holding off the wedding to see if we were going to end up winning or not.
Yep.
And the screen right before they announce what happens just goes black. And so they had to just go on with the wedding, and they had no idea what happened. And I was a
Okay.
similar situation. I was watching it, on TV, and the screen went black, and no one knew what happened for a while. So I'm interested. I'm glad to see you were in the same boat as us. Not glad that you weren't playing, but glad to
Yeah.
see, you got to experience that craziness with all of us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that 2021 year, and then maybe 2020 as well,
Mm.
were there any wide receivers like maybe Justin Hall or someone like that that put their arm around you to try to mentor your game early on?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, Justin Hall, obviously, he was my vet, kind of really. He was someone that I just watched, just every game, dominate practice too. Like I don't think I can really probably count on my hands the amount of reps I've seen Justin lose. Just someone, just had that dog mentality. Definitely, Johannes Tyler was another guy. Early on, I spent numerous times. I spent the night at Johannes' house. Just chilling with him, just hanging with him. Jay Sean Jackson. It was also guys like that you probably wouldn't even know, like Dean Tate. Just a guy, that didn't really get a lot of playing time, but just a very cerebral player. Helped raise my IQ. So the list go on and on for the guys that helped impact me get to this point.
And then what was it like to watch Carson Steele in that 2021-2022 season? He was another dog that you got to have some stories about him. What was that like?
Yeah, so like Carson, he was just a very laid back guy. You wouldn't think that from his play style, but super laid back, super chill. Crocky J, as
Mhm.
people that's their favorite. But yeah, like a super laid back guy. Carson, he was a hard worker. He's one of those people that wouldn't ask you to do anything that he wouldn't do. Like always the first one out to the field, like truly, like a true leader. So like you see the success that he's having with the Chiefs now, it's not a surprise to anybody. We seen this back in when he was here at Ball State, UCLA, every stop that he's been at, even Center Grove. So he's always been that type of player, and I'm happy for him. Definitely.
Qian, did you ever meet Crocky J?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't meet Crocky Day. I did.
I think Crocky J. I actually went to Synagogue as well, like Carson. I think Crocky J. lived in the neighborhood right next to us growing up. So I apparently had an alligator right down the street from me the whole time. I never
Man,
really.
this whole time.
Yeah, exactly. So hey, Keon, we're moving on to the 2022 season here. We get some you get some action
Yep.
against Tennessee, Murray State. I was actually in the stands for Tennessee. Um, did you have a welcome to college football moment that year?
Yeah, and it didn't so much come from the field, just from that 2022 season. Well, actually, it was one. I'll give you one that was on the field, and then it was one that wasn't on the field, and they both came
Okay.
from Tennessee. So as we're leaving the locker room for Rocky Top, in the stadium, lights going crazy. This is my first, like, I traveled to the Chameleon Bowl versus I think that was Georgia State, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken. I
Yep.
traveled to that game, but I didn't really, have the whole experience. This was like, okay, this is like where I can expect to play. Everything's coming out, so I'm going in. I'm hyped, and I'm like, okay, this is college football. And then the game goes. The entire course of the game goes, and it's like I think the clock, if I'm not mistaken, was a minute and 34 seconds left. In the fourth quarter, we're down. I think it was like 55. A lot. We're down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally check in, and my family had came to that game. They were, anticipating me playing. I was super, excited for it. And it was kind of like I don't want to say a letdown, but definitely a learning lesson. Like, like don't ever get complacent, because I feel like I had a great camp going into that season. I felt like I was very prepared with the playbook, understand the playbook, but just was my time. So just that was kind of like my like I cried. I even cried in my mom's arms after that game. That was just like just kind of a lesson learned. Just eye opening moment for me, definitely.
Yeah, the voice of our Ball State Cardinals, Mick Tidrow, we had him on last week, and he actually said that that Tennessee game was his welcome to college football moment as well. That was his first game broadcasted, so he said it was a little bit of an intimidating environment to go into for your very first game. So
Definitely.
you guys kind of share that one here a little bit. So hey, we get to the end of that season. I know this is a game that really stands out to Colin and I a lot. We talk about it, from time to time, but we're going into we're at sitting at 5-4. We get to the end of the year. We have a chance to go to a bowl game. We got a really tough game against Miami of Ohio. I know we talked to Kyle Kelly about it as well. Do you remember that game specifically, and kind of what are your thoughts on that? We ended up missing out on that third straight bowl game, which I don't know that ever happened in Ball State history. That was a tough one, I'm sure, for the players, just like it was for the fans. But what do you remember about that game specifically?
Just really one of the things that stand out to me from that game, really was the game prep. Honestly, like we really didn't know like who, because like I don't know if you guys remember, John had suffered a hand injury or something was going on with his hand. I can't quite remember, but we didn't really know who how it was going to go. Kyle was getting it one rep, so we didn't know who was going to play. You know what I'm saying? John was still dressing out. He was still preparing to go out there and play, but we didn't really know leading up to the game how healthy he was. So fast forward to Miami of Ohio. As you see, Kyle, they both end up playing, but Kyle played majority of the game, and then we end up end up losing that game and end up not making the bowl game, like you said. And it was kind of like just left us in a weird place. You know,
Mhm.
that I kind of, me personally, I kind of believe that's where, you know, the shift kind of started, where it's like, okay, where do we go from here? You know, so definitely that was just one of the things that stood out to me.
Okay.
Yeah, 2023 was really your breakout year. 41 catches, 358 receiving yards with three different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
How hard was it to catch passes from three different quarterbacks?
I really don't think it was hard because I feel like we did a great job of building that relationship. Like Lane, Kyle, Caden, I had a great time with all those, you know, with all those guys, and we had a great relationship. That was another thing. Like off the field, we all bonded. I think that's what helped me be able to thrive or have some success with those three different quarterbacks as well. So definitely.
Qian, what would you attribute your breakout season to? Was it staying locked in and working hard? Was it coaching? What was it?
I think it's a little bit of everything. You know, it can't just be one thing. But I would say it was Coach C. He played a big part in that year, especially with me being like that was my first real experience. Coach Cedric Cormier, he played a big part just adjusting to the game, the speed of the game. I will also say like because you know Kyle did play majority of the games that year. He played 6 games that season. I would say Kyle as well. Like with him being my quarterback and my roommate at that time, we just kind of like the time and the chemistry, it was just there, so it felt natural. um and also the scheme, I feel like they definitely helped me out with the scheme, of course. Like, you know, you got to give credit to the coaches that's drawing up the plays, so it was a combination of everything to me.
So this season, I actually remember super fondly because we had Caden get his 4 starts, and then they redshirted him, and then we had Lane in there, and I didn't really know much about Lane, but I was excited, and then
Mm.
I was super excited about Kyle Kelly too. Uh, Now, at a certain point, could you feel the locker room kind of clamoring for Kyle Kelly, or did they not really care? Was it whoever the coach rolls with were good? Because we know Kyle
Mm.
Kelly is explosive, super big playmaker. Like, what was that feeling like in the locker room? Were people just chomping at the bit to see him go in, or was it kind of
Yeah.
like whoever we got, we're rolling with him?
Well, I think, like you said, we can go back to that 2022 season. Everybody has seen that Miami game and kind of like, you know, like, okay, we got something here. You know what I'm saying? And John had ended up leaving that year. You know what I'm saying? So we were kind of already thinking, you know, we're rolling with Kyle, and then we had brought in Lane and had Caden early enrollee. So it was kind of like, okay, now week to week, we don't know. So it really just left everybody in the gray area. But like I said, everybody was prepared for anybody to go out there. Like I said, like you've seen, Lane had success, Caden had success that year, Kyle had success that year. So I wouldn't really say like we really planned for anybody to be out there week to week, but we just knew whoever was out there gave us the best chance to win. So definitely.
Do you think the team would have had a better record than 4-8 if we started Kyle Kelly a little sooner?
I mean, hindsight's 2020. I mean, and we starting this year, so we get to see it
Mhm.
this year,
Right, right.
honestly. So,
Yep.
so it's like, I mean, like, we could say that, we can't say that. We don't, you know, we never know. But I'm just excited for this year, honestly. Like, man, you know, with him at the helm, I feel like this team can go really far. He's been having a great camp. I don't know if you guys been reading the
Oh yeah.
reports, you know, or how much you've been into our camp, but he's definitely having a good camp, growing as a leader, as a player overall. So I'm excited. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for this team, and I'm just ready to get going, man. Week 1 can't come fast enough.
It's
Oh yeah.
here.
It's
Before,
here.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's here.
I'm
It's here.
talking about Saturday.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
Before we get into 2025, just real quick, I want to touch briefly on 2024.
Okay.
So, obviously, a little bit of an up and down season.
Mm.
You did finish the game appearing in 11 of 12 games, 23 passes caught for 207 yards, and leading receivers with 4 receiving touchdowns.
Mm.
Now, I don't know, did you see the Kansas game just the other night
Yep, I
with
did.
Cam
My boy Cam.
Pickett?
Yeah, oh, yep, definitely. You know I was tuned in. You know
Mm.
it.
Yep. So Cam exploded, had 2 touchdowns, looked really good for Kansas. And
Mm.
it led me thinking I'm kind of formulating, and this is an early thought that I'm formulating a little bit early here, but I want to bounce it off you first.
Mm.
Do you think it's possible that in 2024, the wide receivers had to sacrifice a little bit for Tanner Koziel to get his, for the offense to kind of cater around TK? Because now
Uh.
Cam Pickett only had 2 receiving touchdowns last year, 2 rushing touchdowns as well, but
Mm.
he already had those 2 with Kansas. Is it possible the wide receivers had to sacrifice a little bit last year to make sure that TK could eat?
I wouldn't even say sacrifice. I don't think that's the right term to use. I would say I would say Tanner. It's hard. It's hard not to include him so much in the game plan. Like you're gonna
Mhm.
see it with Houston this year. Like this to be all the way honest. Like when you have somebody that gifted, that talented, how do you not feed him the ball? You know what I mean? So like you said, Cam definitely had a lot of production last year. He had 500 yards. He probably didn't get in the end zone as much as he would like, or as people thought he should. But he did had a lot of production there. Like even me, like how you said, I had 5 touchdowns last year as well on 20 receptions. So it's like when our opportunities came, we made the most of them. We were just always ready for our number to be called. And when you have the the number one tight end in the country on your team,
Mhm.
you give them the ball, you let them work. So and we were ready for whenever our time came, and that's how it's going to be this year as well. So
Qian, last non-2025 question.
yep,
So 2020 season, we win the bowl game. We win the MAC. We win the bowl game. 2021, still a solid year. We go to the bowl game. We lose, but 2022 we go 5-7. 2023 4-8. 2024 3-9. What was it, do you think, that led to the slippage of the team over these last couple years?
it's a great question. Like I said, I hate to keep giving you the same answer. I don't think you could pinpoint it to one set thing.
Mhm.
But maybe like a loss of identity. I would say we really didn't know what we wanted to be. Like if you go back to look, okay, we went to a run heavy team. Like if you go back to that 2023 season with Marquez Cooper, you got a great back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also have Caden Samanza, Kyle Kelly, Lane Hatcher, great passers as well. So we're just trying to find that balance. We really never really found that balance. So I think that was something that led to that definitely.
Okay.
Great answer.
Uh, and so, like you said, you seem like you're pretty excited for the 2025 season. I know we are. I know a lot of Ball State fans are. I know there's a lot of newness and a fresh, almost scent coming out
Yep.
of the football stadium. So, hey, 2025, you entered a transfer portal. You
Yep.
decide, hey, I'm coming back.
Yep.
What brought you back to Ball State? Was it Coach U? Was it something else?
Well, first, I just want to touch on what even made me enter. Honestly,
Okay.
it was just uncertainty. Like I'm gonna be all the
Hmm.
way honest. I entered kind of like as a safety blanket. I really didn't know what my next steps were, or what this program's next steps were.
Hmm.
Like I said in many other interviews, this has always been my home. Like this has always felt like family to me. And I don't want to say I regret it because I definitely during that time showed me and made me want to be here even more than I ever wanted to. But definitely when I did enter, it was just purely out of uncertainty. I didn't know what were the next steps, and once I met with Coach U while I was in the portal, basically it was essentially like a visit. I met with him and talked to him, trusted in his plan, and we've been going ever since. So
Okay.
So college football 26 drops,
yep,
and then you are the menu player for the game. How exciting was that to see your face on the front menu if you pick Ball State as your favorite team? Because last year it was Caden Samanza.
yep.
I was shocked. I thought it was going to be Kyle Kelly, but I was super excited to see you on there. What was that like for you? How did you find out? Did you know before, or was it when the game dropped?
Man, EA ain't tell me nothing. I didn't know. I didn't know anything. I found out
Wow.
just like the rest of y'all. Which honestly, I feel like that was the best way to find out. Honestly, just because like it gave me that kid on Christmas morning feeling.
Hmm.
Not to like get engulfed into that too much, but just it was definitely like a surreal feeling. You grow up like I played NCAA 14, like with Denard Robinson on the cover of it on the
Hmm.
PSP. Like I was one of those kids that grew up playing those games, and now like if you pick the Cards is your favorite team and you see me on that screen, it's definitely a surreal feeling.
Did you say you played it on the PSP?
Yes, the PSP.
The
I'm
PSP.
showing my age a little bit.
The
The
PSP
PSP.
was way before its time. What an amazing video game console the PSP
Great,
was.
great video
Amazing. So,
game.
hey, you were kind of alluding earlier, talking about Kyle Kelly and the great camp he's had. What
Mm.
about you this camp, and what about the team in general? How have you thought that fall camp went?
I feel like fall camp was great. We grew a lot as a team, and I feel like me individually as a leader, I feel like I grew a lot more vocally. That's something that I've just been working on these. Really, I'll say like the past 3 years, really since I been getting a lot of playing time, just growing my voice as a leader, and I feel like I done a great job as that. Done a great job of that. I feel like the guys are definitely rallying around Kyle, like you touched on. The guys definitely believe in him, and we're just ready to go now. You know what I'm saying? It was a long off season, a long short off season. Now it's just time
Mhm.
to go put on display.
Yeah, so we spoke to Cade Hampton earlier, maybe a couple weeks ago, and he actually pointed you out as one of the most vocal leaders on the team.
Mm.
My question for you is, who else are the leaders on the team, and how do you lead specifically on and off the field?
Yeah. So when I grew up, I kind of was more the lead by example. Don't have to do a lot of talking, don't have to do a lot of yelling. But with me being one of the older guys in the team, and being around football, I feel like, okay, it's time for me to expand that voice. And a lot of guys are starting to get into that role. Another guy, Darren Conley, he's a guy that's definitely like I can say, and he's kind of a quiet guy if you know Darren. Like he's pretty laid back too, but he's getting into that mode where he's understanding that, okay, the team needs me to say these certain messages and hit it home. So I think him, Tristan Cook is definitely somebody who's they're growing their voice. Kyle, of course. Who else? What can I really say? Ty Robinson. Ty Robinson, someone else. I think Ty is a super quiet guy. If you know Ty, like so yeah, it's all around the locker room, and guys definitely hold themselves accountable. So it's not even really that much of a need to be anything to be said. So it's just growing. It's growing. It's contagious, definitely.
I want to ask about Quay Ashley, the addition of
Yep.
Quay Ashley. You brought up the Marquez Cooper Kyle Kelly tandem, which was just incredibly explosive, amazing to watch. Will this kind of be reminiscent of that, or will it be different? What do you think there?
Honestly, um, I feel like it'll be better, honestly, and that's no knock to Marquez. That's more so just the faith I have in Quay and Kyle, and also with Kyle being an older player, understanding like that was kind of like his first time really, getting out there. Now he's more experienced. His experience is the best teacher, so I feel like it'll be better definitely. And Quay, he's a dynamic player, super fast player, and you'll see him in different phases of the game. He'll even be back there on kick return in different phases. So it's going to be exciting, definitely, and I think it'll be good for us.
Are you going to kick return this year as well, or are you going to be back there with Quay, or what do you
Yeah,
think?
we're gonna see. We're gonna see week one. It's,
Okay,
it's coming soon. It's coming
okay.
soon.
Hey, is Eric Weatherly as nasty as what he looked like at the spring game and what the reports are in general?
Yes, yes, it's true.
Yes.
And just as nasty as he is, he's just as strong, man. Like a lot of people don't
Mhm.
know. Like don't let the size fool you. That kid just put 500 plus on his back, and probably could have did it for more than one rep.
Wow.
So definitely, it's a lot of guys in the locker room that's gonna surprise guys. So I'm just excited for you guys to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that. We recently just saw Shaq got your wide receivers coach
Yep,
Shaq Van recently got recognized for the 30 best coaches under the age of 30. I
yep.
actually went to high school with Shaq, middle school with Shaq. I played football with Shaq. He was an absolute dog in high school. Like he ran a kickoff back to win the game with no time on the clock. You got to ask him about this. But uh, as a player, though,
Yep.
why is Shaq so deserving of that recognition?
One, because I feel like he's a true player's coach. I feel like that's something that doesn't get talked about enough. And also like the dude, like he's dedicated to his job. Like he's one of the first coaches I see in the morning, and I'm one of the first people there. So he's just dedicated to the job and dedicated to us in the grind. So I'm not surprised by him being on that list, and it's a lot more to come from him, especially with him just being so young in his career. It's only up from here. So I'm excited for him and how he can move this room forward. Definitely.
So I'm actually coaching wide receivers at that same high school that Shaq and I played at.
Adams,
What
right?
would
Adams High School.
Adams,
Yep.
John Adams, South Bend?
Yep.
What would you what would you advise me to work on with some high school wide receivers? What should we be focusing on at this age?
Oh man, because that like high school, that's really where you develop your. I believe your play style, like your true. You can definitely mold and add things to your play style, but like that's where you find out who you are as a player. Really, is in high school and college. I believe so. But like really, the main thing I see a lot is I would say contested catches. That's because that's at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what route you run. It doesn't matter how fast you are. If this man is here in phase, can you go make the play? That's what you're going to be. Because
Right.
every level you get, high school, okay, you might be here. College, you may be here. But when you get to the pros, it's all here. And if that's your goal, you have to be able to make those plays. So I think contested catches is something that all age groups should work on. Definitely.
Colin, I can't remember
Thank
exactly. I can't remember exactly, but I feel like we asked Willie Snead that a couple months back. I feel like that's the same exact answer he gave.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
So week one, Purdue is Coach U's alma mater. His son's going there. I think his wife went there.
You know,
What are you most excited for this Purdue game on week one?
the game. This
Mhm.
this like This might sound weird. I'm excited for the stress. Like,
Mm,
I like that feeling of 100 of us versus 1,000 of them. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So like, I just love that, and just it's going to war. Like it's the first one. Everybody's gonna be excited. That everybody's healthy. It's probably the only time where the rosters are completely full. You know, like
Mhm.
that first snap, everybody's healthy, everybody's ready to go, and that's just the most exciting thing about it. So definitely.
have you seen their wacky end zone sideline? How it's painted black
Yeah.
on one side and then painted black on the other, and there's
Yeah.
that white right in between it.
Mm,
It actually tricked their own receiver. He was
yeah.
standing outside catching a touchdown pass. So I just wanted to bring that up because I want
Yeah,
you to
no,
get a
no,
touchdown.
I've
That'd be
seen it.
crazy.
We definitely, and that's the thing. Like,
Okay,
and
okay.
one thing, like, it's great that you said that. Like, I'm big on just like visualization. So like, I look at every stadium we play at. I look at it like the whole week. Really, like we had a lot of time to prepare for this game. So I've been already been looking at it, different videos of it, watching it, just seeing the grass. Like, where does the sun shine? Like,
Mm.
it helps you all with going to the
Mhm.
game. So definitely, I'm familiar with that sideline for sure.
Mm.
So when right before our first game, week one, we already had our week one game and we got the dub. But right before that, we brought in a mental sports kind of like the guy to get the team in the right mindset. And one of the things he did was he asked them, who on the team are you confident in this year other than yourself and why? And then they would ask that person, who are
Mm,
they confident in and why? Because it's cool to hear somebody else talk about why they're confident in you. So
yeah.
my question for you is, who on the team are you confident in this week one and why?
I would say Kyle Kelly. Like that's obvious. Just because, and the reason why I say him is because I feel like he's he's been through so much. Like really, this whole team. Like, and I feel like as the season go on, you guys will start to hear more of people's stories and people's journeys. But the reason why I say Kyle is just because he's someone who wasn't even playing the position last year, and to be playing the
Mm.
position, a completely new position this year, and taking the starting snaps on a big stage. I have the most belief in him just because he's ready for the moment. Like he's been through everything mentally. He's also I think he grew. I don't know how to put this. Like his play style has grown.
Mm.
Like his maturity in his play style. So the things that he's seen from then he can show now, and that's why I have the confidence in him. He doesn't make the same mistake twice.
Mm.
Keon, last question before our rapid fire segment.
Perfect.
After all these years, what does Ball State mean to you?
Family, family. That's what when I think of Ball State. And I'll be honest, when I first came here, I didn't know where Muncie, Indiana was on the map.
Mm.
But when I just came here, I adapted to the community, and I felt a sense of community when I come here. Every time, like even when I come back for going home for a couple weeks and I come back, it's just like, okay, this is somewhere I'm gonna always feel like home. Always.
Yeah, we've had a handful of former players on in the past. Two names that pop out to me right away: Willie Snead
Mm,
and then Juwan Edwards, and
yeah.
they both kind of said the same thing. They're like, I had no idea where Muncie even was. I had no idea what Ball State even was. But we found this tight knit family of people that you'll be connected with the rest of your life. So it's interesting to hear that even 10 years later from when those guys were not retired but graduated. It's the same way for you guys on the team now. But
Definitely.
so now, Keon, this is the hardest hitting segment, and not only all of the MAC, but all of college football.
All right.
This is Colin's rapid fire segment. So basically, what he's going to do, he's going to pose a question to you, and it will just get you one short answer. Really, it's pretty simple. Colin sometimes make it a rapid fire that's not rapid, but we'll see how he does today. So,
Okay.
Colin, go ahead with the rapid fire.
Gotcha.
Question one, Dancing Charlie or the regular Cardinal head?
See,
See, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I'm gonna say me personally. You can't go wrong with either one. Don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
I'll say this: the tradition. I like traditional old school. Definitely,
We know you're from Ohio, LeBron or Jordan?
LeBron.
Who's your best friend on the team?
Kyle.
When you play college football 26, if you don't use Ball State, who would you use?
I use a couple teams. This is Kansas. I'll use Coastal. Wherever my homeboys are at. So
Okay.
any other team that my homeboys on.
Regardless of what Joakim Noah said, does anybody actually go to Cleveland for vacation?
I'm a Ohio native. I don't think anybody goes to Cleveland for vacation. I don't think anybody will.
Okay, I noticed your Twitter Avi is actually an edited version of the guy from Spirited Away. Are you a big Studio Ghibli fan? And what's your favorite Ghibli movie?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. I'm not. I just like to pick. I ain't gonna lie. I have
Okay,
no
okay,
authority.
okay. Have you ever seen the movie though?
No, I haven't. Now I got something to watch. I think is I didn't even know what the
You
movie was
gotta
about.
watch it.
So
There you go.
you just educated me on something. Now I gotta go watch it.
Right on. So Ghibli is basically like a Japanese Pixar,
Okay.
and that movie's incredible. That might be their best one.
Colin's a big
Uh,
time movie guy.
Yeah, I gotta
I
tap it
am, I
now.
am. And then final question, Qian, are you subscribed to the pod yet?
I think I am subscribed to the pod. I don't confirm me on that, but I did watch a few
Okay,
episodes.
okay.
I don't know if I hit subscribe or not. I'll get back to you on that. But
Perfect.
if I'm not, I will be.
Perfect. I look, hey, you survived. You survived rapid fire. I think that was the most rapid fire round we've had so far.
Well, that's good. That's
Good job.
good.
So, hey, Keon, before we let you go, do you have any NIL agreements out there that people can help support you with? Is there a place where they can buy your merch or anything like that?
Yeah, the link is in my bio. It's with like athlete thread. You can find like a whole bunch of gear of mine. Yeah, definitely there. So
Perfect. All right, everyone, be out there. Check, get in. And where can people find you on social media? What are your handles?
okay, so Instagram you can find me the Don13 underscore. TikTok the Don13 underscore. Twitter I think is just my name. So Qian Magwood. So yep.
All right, everyone, go out there and be sure to find Keon on all the social medias. Check those bios and said, get out there, buy some merch, support him, get a couple extra bucks in his pocket for this upcoming season. So, Keon, we appreciate your time again. Like I said at the beginning, we know you're busy. You're in class. You got week 1 against Purdue coming up here. So we appreciate your time, and we want to wish you the best of luck this upcoming year.
Thank you both. I appreciate you.
All right, perfect. So that is going to wrap up this edition of Ball State of the Union. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to make sure, yeah, Keon, remember, subscribe to make sure you never miss an episode. We got plenty more Cardinal conversation on the way, and thank you for tuning in. Until next time, chirp, chirp, and go Cardinals.